After Cassie filed her lawsuit, you said, been trying to tell y'all for years. What were you trying to tell people?
That Diddy was not a safe human and that you should be careful if you're planning on entering any type of relationship with him, from business to personal.
Tell me about the sympathetic days to Diddy. What does that look like when you have a moment of feeling bad for the guy?
It wasn't all bad, but I don't know that any of the good was real. I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas. It's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around, and that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore, like what happened? You don't have anything, like you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good looking person. And there was no Me Too at that time. There was no protecting anyone at that time. You signed 1 million NDAs and 1 million contracts that took away all your rights.
Guys, buckle up because this is the kind of scandal that could blow the lid off the entire industry. Aubrey O'Day is stepping into the courtroom and bringing receipts. She's reportedly ready to blow the lead off of Diddy in a high-stakes trial, peeling back the layers of what insiders are calling a toxic empire built on fear, manipulation, and silence. Now, here's where it gets wild. Word on the street is that Diddy did, plus, not just try to shut her up. He allegedly offered her a measly $300 deal to stay quiet. Yes, you heard that right. $300. Not even enough to cover a designer bag or a dinner in Beverly Hills, let alone the emotional toll of everything she's gone through. Aubrey's testimony is expected to lay out disturbing claims of abuse, exploitation, and a work environment so controlling it might as well have been a cage with studio lights. If what she's saying holds up in court, it could unravel the long-standing culture of silence that's protected some of the biggest names in entertainment. So grab your popcorn because this isn't just another celebrity scandal, it's a reckoning. And Aubrey, she's not just spilling tea, she's serving it piping hot.
I just want to throw you the facts, okay?
Sure.
So this is long after we have 2 double platinum albums, $15 an album from 2 million albums is, what is the math on that, 48 million? And this benevolent man who's now had a change of heart and has decided to pay us as talent, we only get the amounts due since Sony bought our catalog.
Okay.
So streaming for the past couple years, it's about $800, $900. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public. I would like to do a documentary for Hulu or Netflix or Amazon, a streaming site. I offered some of the girls, hey, if you need $800-900, I'll give it to you. Don't sign this.
Oh my God. Aubrey O'Day is ready to talk, and Diddy might not like what she has to say. Get this. Word on the street is that Aubrey O'Day, former Danity Kane star and longtime protege of Diddy, is gearing up to take the stand, and what she has to say could shake the very foundations of the music industry. After years of silence, O'Day has been allegedly subpoenaed and reportedly landed in New York City, where she's expected to testify in a trial that's already sending shockwaves through Hollywood. Her connection to Diddy, it's not just business, it's personal. The two shared a complicated, high-stakes dynamic during her 6-year stint under his management, a time Aubrey once described as both demanding and deeply damaging. Now, while Diddy may have trained her to strive for perfection, O'Day has been increasingly vocal about the price she had to pay for trusting Diddy. She's painted a picture of an environment where creativity was crushed, control was absolute, and autonomy was barely a whisper. If what she reveals in court echoes what she's hinted at in interviews and online, Diddy better buckle up because he will never see the light of day again.
Did he ever mistreat you?
Yes. Have you ever seen Making the Band?
Yeah.
Did he ever mistreat you is the funniest question I think I've ever heard. Of course.
Now, insiders close to the case are now saying that with Aubrey's testimony, we might be looking at one of the most explosive testimonies the industry has seen in years. And she's not exactly keeping quiet ahead of the proceedings. In a cryptic tweet that sent fans into full-blown speculation mode. What's more, whispers in industry circles suggest Diddy even tried to buy her silence and allegedly offered her a jaw-dropping $300 to keep quiet. $300 for her silence? That's not just insulting, that's laughable, especially considering the magnitude of what she's about to expose. Aubrey O'Day could very well be the linchpin in this high-profile case. Her testimony has the potential to do more than call out one man. It could crack open a long-ignored conversation about abuse, exploitation, and the unchecked power wielded behind the glitz and glam of the music biz. Now here is where things get wild. The $300 she was offered was not just for her to stay silent about Diddy. Rather, she was expected to keep her mouth shut about everyone involved in what she hints is a much larger, more sinister operation. Yep, you read that right. $300.30 for her silence, for a full release of all claims, and for a lifetime gag order that would have erased her voice, her experience, and her truth. Now, once this news came out, Aubrey didn't hold back. She explained that the contract didn't just ask her to keep quiet, it demanded that she never disparage Diddy on any platform. No social media, no podcast, no format. And once she signed it, she couldn't even mention the existence of this contract ever again. Chilling, right? In an interview, she added that it became crystal clear what was really going on. It asked me to not be able to have access to my story and my experience anymore. It asked me specifically to stay silent and never speak poorly about a human. So then I realized something really bad is coming. And if that's not enough to raise eyebrows, she's also hinted that Diddy wasn't just trying to silence her. He may have been working overtime to keep everyone quiet. When pressed by TMZ's Harvey Levin about the intent behind these hush money style agreements, she said plainly, "I think you would probably be making moves to keep as many people quiet as possible." Meanwhile, other sources claim that while Aubrey got pennies, A-list celebrities were reportedly offered much more lucrative incentives to keep their lips sealed, though none of those deals have been made public yet. Let's not forget, Diddy made headlines in 2023 when he reassigned his Bad Boy publishing rights back to artists, a move that was praised publicly as groundbreaking and generous. "It's just doing the right thing," Diddy told Variety, claiming he wanted to lead by example and reform a broken industry. But now O'Day is challenging that narrative. Her message, if this was about doing the right thing, why were NDAs involved? Why the silence clauses? And why would an artist who gave you years of her life be offered $300 to erase her story? This isn't just a behind-the-scenes music industry dispute, it's becoming a reckoning. Now, according to multiple reports, Aubrey O'Day has allegedly been subpoenaed to testify against Diddy, but she's not alone. Fellow Making the Band alum Dawn Richard has also come forward, and what these two women are expected to reveal could blow the lid off years of buried secrets. O'Day, who was a part of the girl group Danity Kane under Diddy's management, allegedly arrived in New York City just as the courtroom drama unfolded. Her presence alone has sent fans and insiders into speculation overdrive. Why? Because she's lived it. The charges against Diddy aren't just damning, they're deeply disturbing: racketeering, forced labor, and abuse. These aren't isolated incidents. They point to what's being described as a system of exploitation hidden beneath the glitter of Bad Boy records. O'Day's testimony could corroborate claims already made by Cassie Ventura, whose bombshell allegations against Diddy include years of abuse and trauma. Now with O'Day set to testify and her history of speaking out despite pushback, the case could reach a whole new level of exposure. But here's where it gets even darker. Dawn Richard has made explosive accusations of her own. She claims to have witnessed Diddy physically assaulting Cassie and has described working conditions under his rule as bordering on forced labor. Her words echo a haunting pattern, one of control, fear, and exploitation masked as mentorship. Together, O'Day and Richard's testimonies could paint a devastatingly clear picture of what went on behind closed doors. In this trial, it's no longer just about one man. It's about a culture of silence and protection that's allowed powerful figures to thrive while silencing the very people they built their empires on. The implications of this trial go beyond Diddy. It's cracking open long-protected dynamics in the entertainment world, the unchecked power, the NDAs, the hush money, the calculated image control. O'Day and Richard's bravery in breaking ranks could inspire a wave of other voices who've been too afraid to speak out until now. If their claims are upheld in court, this trial could mark a turning point for accountability in music. Now, the testimonies of Aubrey O'Day and Dawn Richard aren't just personal stories of pain, they're a reckoning. For decades, Diddy has stood at the top of the entertainment food chain, shielded by wealth, fame, and a culture of silence. But now, that silence is cracking wide open. Both O'Day and Richard, key players in Diddy's reality TV-fueled music empire, are stepping into the courtroom, not just to share their experiences, but to hold one of the most influential men in the industry accountable. And what they're expected to say could rock the industry to its core. This trial isn't just about one man's alleged actions. It's about decades of unchecked power. For too long, whispers of abuse, manipulation, and exploitation have been buried under NDAs, payoffs, and career-ending threats. Now, for the first time, we're seeing those stories come to light in a public courtroom under oath. If Diddy is found guilty of the charges, which include racketeering, forced labor, and abuse, the legal consequences could be devastating. Prison time, financial ruin, and the total collapse of his brand. But let's be honest, the real damage is already being done. Because of the carefully constructed image of Diddy as a visionary mogul, a hip-hop kingmaker, and a self-made success, it's being dismantled in real time. What makes this moment so pivotal is not just the accusations, it's who's speaking out. O'Day and Richard were once stars of Diddy's empire. They're not outsiders, they lived it. They were there, and their courage to testify is already inspiring a wave of solidarity, with many wondering who might come forward next. This trial is quickly becoming a cultural litmus test. Can the entertainment industry finally confront its toxic power structures? Will survivors be believed, supported, and protected, even when their abusers are billionaires with decades of influence? The truth is surfacing. The stories that were once whispered in back rooms are now being read into the record, and with that comes the real possibility of change. If the industry is watching, and it is, the testimonies of Aubrey O'Day and Dawn Richard could very well mark the beginning of a new chapter. One where silence is no longer the cost of survival, one where accountability reaches even the highest levels. Hollywood has protected its kings for too long. Maybe it's time the crown fell. Let me know what you think of this drama in the comments. And don't forget to check out my previous videos to ensure you are up to date with all the latest tea. Till next time, bye.